Hi, I'm Jace Weber. This is North Missouri Woodworking on CVTV. Been a while since we've done a new show, but we're doing some new shows so you guys can get out of the reruns. Today we're going to do, it's kind of a seasonal little project, kind of crafty. It's not fine furniture. It's nothing like that at all. We're going to do little reindeer, little tiny reindeer. Here's one of the patterns. You can do reindeer in different sizes. You may have seen these sitting around at places. They're fairly easy, and to be honest, I haven't made one of these for about 4 or 5 years, so this is going to be me kind of winging it on one of these, but like I said, there's nothing real too difficult about it. You can make them out of any wood. All you got to do is make sure that your wood fits the pattern both ways. You're going to be making these out of white oak because I had a random chunk of white oak laying over here in the corner, and that's what I picked. You're going to have a bandsaw with a fairly small blade on it. I just put a 1/8 inch band on my saw over here. The reason being in that is there is going to be some pretty tiny little, some tight little cuts here that we're going to do around this leg hole and this horn hole, and I didn't even know there was such a thing as a horn hole until I just said it. But got to have your scissors. You can use sharp ones or blunt nose, either one, and cut your pattern out. It's really handy to have a spindle sander as well, because there's quite a bit of sanding involved with this. Bandsaws typically don't do a real smooth job of cutting like a miter saw does or your table saw does. So there's some saw tracks that you're going to have to sand out of the thing. It's not impossible by no means to do it by hand or partially with a little random orbital sander. But a spindle sander is going to make it a whole lot easier for you in the long run, save you some time and some grief. I'm going to go ahead and cut these out and get these cut out. We're going to mark them out on the wood. I always did real good in first grade with scissors. I think I got a star. And you can actually, if you want to, use spray adhesive and glue this right down to your wood if you'd like, and then just use that. Actually, when I made these a few years ago, I think I made a cardboard template that I could just use over and over again, because it's the paper is a little floppy and it's kind of like a one-time use thing. And this project is a little unusual in one respect, because we're going to cut the wood off of one side. We make our first cut, and then we're going to take tape and we're going to tape it back together. And you'll get the idea of how that works whenever we get to it. Actually, this pattern here, I just now noticed this one's a little bit different than the one I had made several years ago. This has got a little tail on him here. Huh. All right, we got our reindeer patterns cut out. Whoops, forgot to cut out the horn hole. Let me get that. And
you just wanted to say horn hole.
I did. I wanted to say horn hole. You don't get to say horn hole very often. I got the horn hole. All right. Okay, we got the deers cut out, horn holes and everything. And we're going to fold these little tabs over that I left on the bottoms there. That's going to kind of position us on the wood. Make sure we get them right on the money. All right, your skinny one. Your skinny pattern goes on the edge of the wood. And for the life of me, I can't remember which way this needs to go. Got to figure it out. I'll be dingity dang dogged if I know. I think this may be the back side. We'll just go with this. See what happens. Alrighty, put our side pattern on there. And you can tape this down, or you can, like I said earlier, you can actually glue it to it and cut it out. I'm gonna make a little line around here with my pencil. And I just want to make it dark enough so I can see the darn thing. And as I said earlier, a cardboard template, if you're gonna make a bunch of these for folks, friends at Christmas or some such thing, want to make yourself a little deer herd, do make it out of something a little more durable than a piece of printer paper. Okay, we got our side profile marked out here. This is the deer's nose that you're seeing here, and his horns, so it gives you an idea. This is going to be, we're going to do our edge cut first with the bandsaw. Then we're to make everything nice and square, leave our lines on the other side and everything. I'm going to put this back on. I'm just going to tape it together so that we can cut out the front side of it. And it's pretty cool how this works. There's a few things that you do like this on a bandsaw where you put the parts back together and tape them. If you're making like Queen Anne legs for a table or something like that, where you have to cut in 3 dimensions on the saw, it's something that you always do. You put it back together. So if you've never done that, this is kind of a cool time to learn that. So now I'm going to go over here to the bandsaw and cut this deer up. Alrighty, we're over here at the bandsaw, and as I said earlier, we got an itty bitty little blade in this thing. It's a pretty good sized bandsaw. It's a 17-inch saw, and it looks a little ridiculous putting in a little 1/8-inch blade like this. But in order to make the tight turns that we got to make and everything with this oak or any wood for that matter, you got to have a skinny blade. A wide blade's not going to make the turns. You can go back and forth with a wide blade, but you're just going to increase the time that you're going to be sanding on the dang thing. So pick you up a little blade if you don't have one. You can also, I know there's guys that do this on a scroll saw. You can do it on a scroll saw. It's a little more tedious because it's not going to cut as fast or anything. So a bandsaw isn't really necessary. And if you've got the most rudimentary of tools, conceivably you could do this with a coping saw if you've got nothing but good intentions and time on your hands. So we're going to put on the hearing protectors here because we are safety conscious, if nothing else, and cut this baby out. As I said earlier, this is going to be our first cut, and we're going to have to, because we're doing this out of oak, white oak, we're going to have to go pretty slow with that to make sure our blade doesn't track off, and this tiny little blade, we don't want to bust it because it is the last one that I've got hanging up there. Alrighty, we got the edge cut done on our tiny little reindeer, and we're going to put these two pieces back together. We want to keep our pattern here that we're going to be cutting out the front side. So we take a little bit of tape and put this mess back together. And you don't have to get all crazy and lop this thing up with a bunch of coats of tape, because you do need to still be able to see your pattern through the tape. And we can. So now we're going to do all these cuts. Cut out the top here and the bottom, and I didn't say horn hole, but I will now. Cut out the legs, back side of the deer, and see what we got. Alrighty, there's the basic thing, and it is just cuter than a button or what. Got a little profile to him, got his little tail here, horn hole. We're gonna make a couple more cuts here, give him some antlers. So he's got some antlers going on. And then all there's left to do is sand our reindeer. All right, I got my spindle sander out over here. You may not have one like this. There's a lot of variations for this thing. This one oscillates. It turns, it goes up and down, so you don't get a hot spot on the sanding spindle that burns your wood. Hopefully you don't. A lot of guys might have this for your drill press or something like that. They're all the same basic operation. This one works pretty cool. This one is made by Grizzly. Got different sizes of spindles that you can put on the thing, and we're gonna have to use a little smaller one on the top. You want to use as big a one as you can for most of your sanding. It makes it a little easier to do. And I got it hooked up to my Festool shop vac here, so whenever I turn it on, it automatically extracts the dust out of it. It keeps it a little healthier for you and a little cleaner in your shop. Not that that really matters in my shop, but it does. So we're going to go ahead and sand these out. Okay, we got the worst of the sanding done, little reindeer, and got a little bit of hand sanding to do on it up here at the top where the spindle sander doesn't get into. A little bit of that business. Down here above his little tail. Knock the fuzzies off of the corners of him Just a little bit. Because we don't want fuzzy reindeer. No. And there he is. And all you got left to do now is, if you want to put some finish on it of some sorts, if you want to stain them, if you want to have colored reindeer, you can paint them if you want. You got Rudolph, red nose right there, red nose. And like I said, you can print these things out any size. You want different sized reindeer. This was just what printed out. This one here was what printed out on a 8.5 by 11 piece of printer stock. I'm going to put my email address up at the bottom of the screen, and if you'd like this pattern, you may email me and I will email you back a PDF file of the pattern if that's what you would like to do. If you look around on the internet though, these are out there. There's several variations of them. A friend of mine gave me this one, and I had lost my old one. He sent this to me last night. And easy project, it's fun, cool little Christmas time deal. Christmas is coming up. I know this show is probably going to air some after Christmas, so give you something to do in the summertime as well. And that's about it for today. I'm Jace Weber. This is North Missouri Woodworking on CV. Watching.